Great enemies are coming to face the Z Warriors in Dragon Ball Super, but these enemies are different from all the others. They are the Dragon Balls themselves. From the very beginning, the Dragon Balls have been a central theme in the series. After all, the series is called Dragon Ball precisely because of them, right? Since the start, we've seen Goku and his friends searching for the Dragon Balls to make a wish to the wish-granting dragon. And Dragon Ball GT, which at the time was supposed to be the conclusion of the Dragon Ball story, had an absolutely brilliant idea. What if the final enemies were the dragons of the Dragon Balls themselves? That idea gave birth to the evil dragon Saga, which had the potential to be the greatest saga in the entire franchise. Was it the best saga? Definitely not. But at the very least, it left a lasting impression on us, especially because of its ending. Now, however, we might be on the verge of seeing a saga very similar to that one, which could end up being the best saga in Dragon Ball Super so far, or maybe even one of the best in the entire franchise. Dragon Ball Daima has already teased this possibility, but actually, we've had hints that this saga could happen since Dragon Ball Super. Anyone who watched Dragon Ball GT knows that the reason the Shadow Dragons were created was the excessive use of the Dragon Balls. Every wish made using the Dragon Balls accumulated a certain amount of negative energy inside them until it reached a point where the Shadow Dragons were born. And what's most interesting is that we had already been given a hint about this before Dragon Ball GT back in the Majin Buu saga, when the Elder Kai warned Goku and the others that they shouldn't use the Dragon Balls carelessly, implying that there were risks involved in using them. I don't know if this was just a coincidence, or if the Dragon Ball GT producers actually used the Elder Supreme Kai statement as inspiration for that saga. Well, the point is that if there's one thing Dragon Ball Super has been doing, it's emphasizing the misuse of the Dragon Balls. One glaring example of this is the movie Dragon Ball Super, Superhero, where we find out that Bulma has been using the Dragon Balls for the most ridiculous reasons imaginable, like enhancing her butt. And whether by coincidence or not, Dragon Ball Super has also highlighted that there's some degree of risk in using the Dragon Balls. In the Granola arc, Monaito is deeply disturbed by the selfish reasons people wanted to use the Dragon Balls he created, saying that their true purpose was to honor the Namekian warriors. But what's interesting is that Monaito seems to have a certain fear of using the Dragon Balls himself, and despite being their creator, he never uses them for his own benefit. Even in Dragon Ball Z, we saw that the Namekians were very cautious with the Dragon Balls, and the former Grand Elder Guru of Namek explicitly stated that they should not be used for selfish reasons. To sum it up, whether it's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, or Dragon Ball Super, every Dragon Ball story has hinted that the Dragon Balls are not to be taken lightly and that using them irresponsibly can have serious consequences. But what exactly are the Namekians so afraid of? Why does it seem like they'll face some sort of punishment if they use the Dragon Balls for selfish reasons? I can think of two possible explanations for this. One is that above all Namekians, there exists a supreme Namekian god, or some kind of supreme dragon god, who watches over the Namekians and the dragon gods. If this god believes that the dragon gods, or the Namekians, are abusing the Dragon Ball's power, he might impose some kind of punishment on them. This would explain why the Namekians avoid using their own Dragon Balls and fear seeing them used for trivial reasons. This dragon god could be the legendary Zalama, who was mentioned in the story, created the most powerful wish-granting dragon of all time, yet has never appeared. Zalama might reside in another realm, overseeing the Namekians and dragon gods from afar. The other possibility is something similar to what happened in Dragon Ball GT. Excessive or improper use of the Dragon Balls could trigger some kind of major catastrophe, which is why the Namekians are so afraid of using them. And don't think for a second that the Shadow Dragon saga has been forgotten by Dragon Ball's producers. In fact, it even had some references in Dragon Ball Daima. In Dragon Ball Daima, we have the Tamagamis, guardians that must be defeated if you want to obtain the Dragon Balls. It's almost the same concept as the Shadow Dragons from GT. And above all, Daima straight up canonized Super Saiyan 4, which is the biggest symbol of Dragon Ball GT. So, creating a saga similar to the Shadow Dragons, which was the main arc of Dragon Ball GT, is not impossible at all. The Shadow Dragon saga had some issues in Dragon Ball GT. Despite the idea being fantastic, the execution wasn't that great. But DBS could get right what GT got wrong in that saga. One of the biggest problems with the Shadow Dragon saga in Dragon Ball GT, in my opinion, was that they had the perfect opportunity to develop all the interesting characters the anime had at that point, like Gohan, Trunks, Oob, Goten, and Vegeta. They could have done this by splitting these characters up and having them fight the dragons, giving everyone great battles and properly developing both the characters and the dragons. But instead, they made Goku and Pan fight all the dragons alone, which was a huge waste. In DBS, we could have the chance to see multiple dragons, since we've seen more Dragon Balls, and if there were a full-scale rebellion of the dragons, we could witness dragons appearing all over Universe 7 and even in other universes. With that, we could see many characters shine, like Gohan, Broly, Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, and others. And if this turned into a multiversal dragon uprising, we might even see warriors from other universes joining in, like Jiren. That would be insane, but I doubt those other characters would be involved, since even though Dragon Ball Super introduced 12 universes, it only ever focuses on Universe 7, and the others are just there for tournaments. Still, even if it only takes place in Universe 7, they could make an amazing saga that allows several Z warriors to shine. We could have weaker dragons, the kind that even the Earthling warriors could defeat with training. But there could also be stronger dragons, ones that rival or even surpass Goku and Vegeta. It would be a brilliant way to get everyone involved. If the Shadow Dragons were created only from the Earth's Dragon Balls, we'd have 7 dragon enemies. The 7-star dragon could be the weakest, and it could be taken on by the Earthling warriors fighting as a team. Krillin, Tien, Master Roshi, Chiaotzu, and Yamcha, all of them after training, could battle together and defeat this weaker dragon. The 6-star dragon could be significantly stronger, and its opponents could be Goten and Trunks, who might even need to fuse. The 5-star dragon would be even stronger, perhaps on the level of Android 17 and 18, fighting together. But depending on how much Goten and Trunks improve in the training they're currently doing with the other Saiyans, we might swap that around. Maybe they'd get stronger than 17 and 18 and take on the 5-star dragon, while 17 and 18 would fight the 6-star dragon instead. Piccolo could face the 4-star dragon, showcasing all the power he's gained with his orange form, which might even be perfected by then. And who knows, maybe Gohan could join in and help him. Broly could fight the 3-star dragon, possibly revealing a new transformation or a fully mastered legendary form, and depending on the power levels, maybe Broly and Gohan would team up. Imagine how awesome it would be to see these two Saiyans, known for their potential and rage, fighting together against an insanely powerful dragon. The 2-star dragon could be Vegeta's opponent, and by then, he might have perfected Ultra Ego. And Goku could face the 1-star dragon, showcasing the evolution of his Ultra Instinct. However, if the 1-star dragon absorbs the powers of the other dragons, like in GT, we might see Goku and Vegeta fuse. And this fusion could finally bring that long-awaited combination of Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct. That would be absolutely epic. Of course, a saga like this could take many different directions. I'm just throwing out one possibility here. In fact, if Zalama appeared and turned out to be an enemy, then things could escalate to another level entirely, maybe even involving the Angels and Zeno. But now I'm probably getting a little too carried away, huh? Anyway, this would definitely be a fascinating saga, one that could make great use of many characters, whether just from Universe 7 or even from other universes. So, there's the idea. Now it's up to Toyotaro to make it happen. Tell me what you think about a new Shadow Dragon saga, but this time done right, making better use of the series characters. Also, let me know if you think there will ever be consequences for the dumb way the characters have been using the Dragon Balls, or if that's something Dragon Ball Super will never explore. If you liked the idea I brought up here, or at least think it makes sense, leave a like on the video because it helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you haven't already, because we've got plenty of Dragon Ball content coming your way. If you know someone who might enjoy this video, share it with them so more people can check out our work. Alright? And if you want to get some exclusive perks from the channel for just a small amount, join our Patreon. The link to learn more is in the video description and the pinned comment. Check it out with no commitment and see if you're interested. Well, that's it guys. See you next time. I'm out.